Alright, y'all, Kurama is actually alive, and in the last chapter, chapter 10, the spoilers came out and they did actually give us a lot of information pertaining to his actual revival and how he did come back, and actually why Himawari is now the new Jinchuriki. He kind of did spill some info about some of the Shinju that we are going to be fighting in the future, but first things first, we just want to talk about Kurama, and I talked about this in yesterday's spoiler video. We thought Kurama was done for. The only reason why I personally thought that Kurama was actually done for is the way Barrymore was actually explained. I thought that once Chakra fully gets vanquished, the tail beast no longer comes back alive, but Kurama actually says specifically, and by the way, I just do want to point out, these are the unconfirmed spoilers, so we're just going off of the information that we do have as of right now. Shout out to @Itachi Flawless for actually translating these spoilers, but Kurama pretty much says, as you say, in the past, I was with your dad Uzumaki Naruto, but what's this amidst battle, you say? The light of my life has gone out, but the death of us Biju aren't eternal. Even if our bodies and souls perish, we will surely come back again. The essence will reappear and we will resurrect. So Kurama right there pretty much laid it all the way out, and again, unofficial spoilers, but this does give us a good idea into actually what's going on. This right here would make a lot of sense. Again, it has been explained before, if a tailed beast does actually die, they can come back. We just thought, or me personally, I'll speak for myself, I just thought that it was all contingent on if the tailed beast's chakra was completely drained or not, but this may actually still be the case, because later on in the chapter, Kurama guessed that the reason why he did actually come back and create her as his new Jinchuriki was because she probably had some of his chakra. So Kurama himself, or this new Kurama himself, doesn't even fully know if his chakra was completely vanquished from planet Earth. It could just be the fact that Himawari had a tiny bit of Kurama's chakra, so that automatically made Himawari a Jinchuriki when the Nine Tails did actually build on that already existing chakra. So this right here is all great news in my personal opinion. One of the things that I do want to actually talk about is, of course, the power levels. Now, one of the reasons why I do liken Himawari to a Jinchuriki is pretty much her form. Her form looked very, very similar to Naruto's form when the tailed beast did actually take over. If you guys do recall, very, very early in Naruto Part 1, and of course this right here isn't necessarily an identical form, because I feel like the Nine Tails is probably feeding a little bit more chakra to Himawari, but a little bit early on in Naruto Part 1, Naruto had that form with Kurama where his eyes would turn red. It seems very, very similar to what Himawari is actually doing in chapter 10. And if that's the case, like, it makes perfect sense. Now, another thing that we do have to take into account that was very, very interesting in this past chapter, chapter 10, Kurama pretty much said that he had a natural affinity for Himawari's chakra, and not only that, Himawari's chakra is also greater than all of her predecessors. So this right here likely means that Himawari is going to be a flat out stronger Jinchuriki. So this brand new Jinchuriki form could be something very unique to her and her own chakra. But I still do believe this right here is a very similar form to the one that Naruto did actually go into. The cool thing about this whole entire situation is the fact that Himawari may actually get multiple different forms in the next episode. One of the scenes that this reminds me of a lot is when Naruto confronted Orochimaru at the bridge. This right here was one of the best scenes in Naruto Shippuden, especially for me because Kurama was one of my favorite characters. Naruto went through multiple different stages. Naruto went through the regular Kurama stage, then he got the cloak, then he went to the three-tail state, and then he went to the four-tail state when he was completely black, and of course all of his skin like peeled off. I don't necessarily want to say for sure if they're actually going to do that in the next chapter, but one of the things that I do want to say is that in the next chapter, we are literally just scratching the surface of what this pairing combination could possibly do. Now, in regards to how strong they're going to be, I honestly believe that Kurama himself, he doesn't even think they're going to be strong enough to actually take down Jiraiya. And don't get me wrong, that right there in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let's be honest. Just last chapter, Jiraiya pretty much sweet chin music Kawaki, one of my favorite characters and one of the strongest characters in the series as of right now. So even if this Kurama Himawari pairing is as strong as, like, let's say a Kawaki, which would be absolutely absurd, they'd still get washed. But right before Himawari actually does try to attack Jiraiya the first time, when she wasn't necessarily amped by Kurama pretty much said right before that, he says, either way, the future isn't bright. So I think he knows that there probably still going to be no match for Jiraiya. And to be honest, one of the things that I did predict on my podcast, I said that even if Himawari does have a turn up moment, quote unquote, I doubt it's going to be to the effect of her actually beating Jiraiya for a couple of reasons. First things first, power scaling will be completely out of whack. Now, don't get me wrong, this would make sense in a way simply because, again, Kurama did actually say that she had a natural affinity for Kurama. Not only that, Kurama did actually say that her chakra was supposedly greater than all of her predecessors, which does include Naruto. And not only that, Damon, right before the time skip, did actually say that she was one of the strongest characters that he pretty much seen. So just off of the rip, Damon did actually see her as a worthy foe, and that means something coming from Damon, arguably one of the 3 strongest characters in the whole entire series. Off of the rip though, in the next chapter, will it be crazy if we expect Naruto levels, like not even Naruto with Kurama, just Hokage Naruto levels? Like, would that be crazy? Like, would it be crazy if we expect, like, even, let's say, let's go on a lesser level, let's go 8 Gates Might Guy. Would it be crazy if we expect her to be as strong as 8 Gates Might Guy? Like, these are crazy stuff we're talking about, and to be honest, I like it. In my last video, I talked about how I didn't necessarily expect him and Wadi to become like this god level character to where she's actually going to be able to box with Ishii level opponents. Now I see a clear path for her to do that. Now, one of the last things I do want to point out, and this right here is probably going to go under the radar, so I'm probably going to talk about this in another video, but my guy Kurama pretty much laid a bombshell, and we pretty much talked about it a little bit earlier. He pretty much says the death of us Bijus aren't eternal. Even if our bodies and souls perish, we will surely come back again. Now, this right here is a very good thing for us thinking about Kurama. It is a catastrophic thing when we think about the Shinju, because they are derivatives of the Ten Tails. And not only that, Kurama even called Jura Ten Tails. So they're pretty much setting up the fact that these Shinju could easily be reoccurring villains throughout the entirety of part 2 of Boruto, which is a crazy thing to think about. But because we are at the end of this video, I don't necessarily want to get too much deep into that, but this right here could be a very, very big Easter egg that could tell a story for the entirety of the series. But let me know what you guys think. It's me, your boy Barbie, and we out.